She shouldn't have stopped. She was already late, already struggling, but she did anyway. And that decision is about to cost more than anyone expects. Everyone saw the broken cart. Everyone ignored it, except one woman who had the least to give, and unknowingly set off a chain reaction no one could stop. Ethan thought he understood success, until he watched someone with nothing give it away, and realized the real collapse hadn't happened on the sidewalk. It happened inside the people watching. She helped him for less than 2 minutes. No one clapped. No one cared. But that silence, that's where the story really begins. What kind of person helps when no one is watching? When it costs them more than it gives back? That question is about to tear this community wide open. The traffic light turns red. Engines idle. Horns complain. People sigh. Inside a polished sedan, Ethan taps his fingers against the steering wheel, already late for a meeting he considers important. His phone buzzes with reminders, deadlines, numbers, responsibilities. Then he sees her. On the sidewalk, just beyond the crosswalk, a woman kneels beside a collapsed fruit cart. Oranges have rolled into the gutter. Bananas lie bruised against the curb. A wheel hangs uselessly from its axle. The vendor, an older man with tired eyes, keeps waving her away. No, it's okay, he says, though his voice cracks. She doesn't listen. She pulls the cart upright, tests the wheel. Her hands are bare. Her shoes are worn. Her movements are careful, practiced, almost gentle. She is helping, not filming, not asking for anything, not looking around to see who's watching. The light turns green. Cars honk. Ethan doesn't move. Why would someone who clearly has so little stop to help someone else when it costs her time she cannot afford? The woman finishes tightening a makeshift knot with a piece of twine. She wipes her hands on her jeans, nods once to the vendor, and walks away before gratitude can become a conversation. Ethan finally drives forward, but something inside him stays behind. He doesn't know it yet, but this small, quiet moment is the first crack in a wall that has taken years to build. And what follows will change an entire community. This neighborhood was never rich, but it used to be alive. Now it survives. Concrete apartment blocks loom over narrow streets like tired guardians. Storefront signs fade under sun and dust. Half the shops are open. The other half are waiting to close. People pass each other every day without truly seeing one another. Not because they don't care, but because caring has become exhausting. Jobs vanish slowly, then all at once. Prices rose. Promises broke. People learned to keep their heads down, their hopes modest, their trust locked away. This place is not broken. It is worn. Amara wakes before her alarm. She always does. The ceiling above her bed bears a long crack she has memorized. She counts it when her thoughts get loud. She sits up slowly, careful not to wake her child in the next room. The floor is cold. The mirror in the bathroom shows someone older than she feels, but not older than she's become. She brushes her hair back, studies her reflection for a moment, then looks away. There was a time Amara imagined more for herself. Not wealth, not fame, just stability. She once believed that if you worked hard and treated people well, life would meet you halfway. Life disagreed. Her daily routine. She prepares breakfast quietly. Toast, tea, a portion smaller than yesterday. Her child eats slowly, watching her. "You're not hungry?" the child asks. Amara smiles. "I ate already." They both know it's not true. She walks them to school, waits until they disappear through the gate, then heads to work, cleaning offices that smell of ambition and success she once dreamed of. No one there knows her story. They don't ask. Malik, the street vendor. Malik has sold fruit on this corner for 15 years. He knows which days are good, which aren't. Lately, there are more of the second kind. He talks to his cart like an old friend, apologizes to it when business is slow. When the wheel breaks, it's not the cart he worries about. It's tomorrow. Mrs. Chun, the shop owner. Her small grocery store once stayed open until midnight. Now she closes before dark. She keeps the lights low to save electricity. Still smiles at customers. Still writes tabs for families she knows will pay eventually. She tells herself kindness is an investment. She's not sure anymore. Daniel, the angry neighbor. Daniel lives upstairs from Amara. He avoids eye contact, slams doors, snaps at strangers. Once, he was different. Now, anger feels safer than disappointment. Ruth, the volunteer. Ruth still shows up to help others, but her heart is tired. She wonders if she's making any difference at all. Lena, the child. Lena notices everything. The way adults speak softly when they're worried. The way kindness looks like weakness to some people. The way her mother gives even when she shouldn't. She is learning what the world is, and what it could be. When Malik's cart collapses, Amara hesitates. She checks the time. She thinks of the bus fare, the job she can't be late for, the dinner she hasn't planned yet. Then she kneels anyway. Her fingers ache as she lifts the cart. Her palms scrape against metal. She finds twine in her bag, left over from tying grocery bags together. Malik protests. "You don't have to." "I know," she says gently. "But I can." She works quickly, efficient, focused. When she's done, Malik stares at the cart like it might disappear. "Thank you," he says. "I don't know how to repay." Amara shakes her head. "Just have a good day." And she walks away. No applause. No witnesses. Except one. Ethan spends the rest of his day distracted. Meetings blur. Emails go unanswered. That image replays in his mind. Not the broken cart, but the way Amara helped without expecting anything back. He realizes something uncomfortable. He's written checks worth thousands, but he's never knelt on a sidewalk to help someone. That thought unsettles him. That night, Amara sits beside her child as they do homework. The lights flicker. The city hums outside. "Mom," Lena asks, "why did you help that man today?" Amara thinks for a moment. "Because someone once helped me when I didn't think anyone would." Lena nods, absorbing that truth. Across town, Ethan lies awake, staring at his ceiling, his thoughts louder than traffic. Two lives, two worlds, about to collide. Before we continue with this journey, let me pause for a moment. This story was created with care, intention, and respect for the quiet heroes who exist all around us. If stories like this move you, if you believe kindness still matters in a world that often forgets it, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Your support helps these stories reach people who may need hope more than they realize. Now, let's see what happens when two very different lives finally meet. Have you ever helped someone without expecting anything in return and later realized it mattered more than you knew? Share your story in the comments. Someone reading it might need it today. Ethan doesn't plan to see her again. That's what he tells himself. People like him don't usually cross paths twice with moments like that. They observe them, feel something briefly, and move on. But life has a way of testing what we tell ourselves. 3 days later, the same traffic light turns red. The same corner. The same fruit cart. And there she is again. This time, Amara isn't kneeling. She's standing beside Malik's cart, helping him arrange fruit more efficiently, grouping bruised produce separately, placing the best pieces where customers can see them first. It's subtle, smart. Ethan notices immediately. He pulls over. Not smoothly, awkwardly. He steps out of the car, suit jacket still crisp, shoes polished, phone buzzing in his pocket like it's offended by this decision. He stands there for a second, unsure how to begin. Amara notices him watching. Her shoulders tense. People don't usually stop for good reasons. "Yes?" she asks cautiously. Ethan clears his throat. I saw you the other day. Helping." She nods once. "Okay." There's no pride in her voice. No defensiveness either. Just neutrality. "I just wanted to say that was kind of you." Amara shrugs. He needed help. Something about that answer unsettles Ethan more than gratitude would have. Ethan fumbles. He's not used to conversations without agendas. "I'm Ethan," he says, offering his hand. Amara hesitates before shaking it. Her grip is firm, brief. "Amara." Silence stretches. Malik watches them carefully, pretending not to listen. Ethan gestures toward the cart. "Do you do this often?" Amara studies him. His watch, his posture, the way he stands like someone used to space. "When I can," she says. "Why?" Ethan smiles faintly. Most people don't. Amara replies quietly. Most people are tired. That lands harder than she intends. Ethan nods slowly. He doesn't argue. Ethan offers to buy fruit. Malik insists he doesn't have to. Ethan insists back. Amara watches the exchange with a mixture of amusement and caution. When Malik steps away to bag the fruit, Ethan turns to her. "You're good with numbers," he says. "The way you reorganize the cart." Amara stiffens slightly. Compliments feel dangerous. "I used to manage inventory," she says after a moment. Before things changed." Ethan senses the line. He doesn't push. Instead, he says something unexpected. "I'd like to help." Amara's expression closes. "No," she replies immediately. "We're fine." It's not defensive. It's practiced. Ethan nods. "Okay." He doesn't argue. That surprises her. He hands Malik extra money and turns to leave, but pauses. "If you ever want coffee," he says gently, "there's a place down the street. I'm there most mornings." He leaves before she can respond. Amara watches him go. She doesn't feel grateful. She feels confused. That evening, Amara replays the encounter. Not because she wants help, but because she's afraid of wanting it. Hope is expensive. She's paid for it before. Her child notices her distraction. "Was today weird?" Lena asks. Amara exhales softly. "A little. Good weird or bad weird?" Amara thinks. "Unfamiliar weird." Lena smiles. "That's sometimes how good things start." Amara doesn't reply, but she doesn't dismiss it either. Ethan tells no one about the encounter. But something shifts. He starts noticing people. The janitor in his building. The cashier who never smiles. The woman who always sits alone on the bus. He realizes how much he's ignored. And that realization is uncomfortable. A week passes. Amara walks past the cafe without stopping. Then slows. Then stops. She doesn't go in right away. When she finally does, she chooses the table farthest from the counter. Ethan looks up and freezes. He doesn't smile too quickly, doesn't rush over. He waits. Amara meets his eyes and nods once. He brings 2 coffees. "I didn't know what you liked," he says. "So I guessed." She studies the cup. "You guessed right." That small admission matters more than either of them realizes. They talk. Not about money. Not about fixing lives. About exhaustion. About how the city feels heavier than it used to. Amara shares small things, safe things. Ethan listens. Really listens. At one point, he says, "You shouldn't have to carry everything alone." Amara looks down. "I know," she says quietly. But knowing and trusting are different. That honesty stays with him. When they stand to leave, Ethan hesitates. If there's ever anything, advice, help with paperwork, anything practical, Amara interrupts gently. "If I need help, I'll ask." He nods. That's fair. As she walks away, Ethan realizes something important. This isn't about saving someone. It's about standing beside them. What would you do if you discovered someone with incredible strength and character living in difficult circumstances? Would you step in or step back and wait to be invited? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read every one. The meetings become occasional at first. Not scheduled, not promised, just natural. Sometimes it's coffee. Sometimes it's a brief exchange on the street. Sometimes it's nothing more than a nod across a crowd. And yet, something is growing. Ethan begins to understand Amara not as a person in need, but as a person, sharp, observant, quietly capable. She notices things others miss. She anticipates problems before they happen. When Malik's cart needs better placement, she suggests a new angle that increases foot traffic. When Mrs. Chun complains about slow sales, Amara helps her reorganize shelves using nothing but logic and instinct. People start listening, not because Amara demands attention, but because she earns it. One afternoon, over coffee, Ethan asks carefully, "What did you do before?" Amara doesn't answer right away. Then, softly, "Operations support. Small company. I kept things running. You were good at it." She nods. "I was." That single word, was, hangs heavy between them. She explains the layoff. The silence afterward. The applications that went nowhere. The interviews that felt like interrogations. I stopped telling people what I used to do, she says. It makes them look at me differently. Ethan feels something tighten in his chest. Not pity. Respect. Not everyone welcomes the change. Daniel, the angry neighbor, notices Ethan's car more often. Careful, he mutters to Amara one evening. People like that don't help for free. Amara bristles. He hasn't done anything wrong. Yet, Daniel replies. Doubt is contagious. Some neighbors whisper. Some assume motives. Others pull back, afraid that attention will bring trouble. Kindness, it turns out, can make people uncomfortable. Ethan eventually offers something tangible, but careful. I know someone who's hiring, he says one day. Contract work. Short term. Amara's guard goes up immediately. I don't want charity. It's not, he replies. It's work. You're qualified. She hesitates. Hope stirs. Fear follows immediately. What if I fail? She asks quietly. Ethan answers honestly. Then you fail. Like everyone else does sometimes. She agrees to think about it. That night, she doesn't sleep. Before Amara can respond, life intervenes. Her child falls ill. Medical bills pile up. Work hours are cut. Rent is late. Stress returns, heavier than before, because now she knows what she stands to lose. She skips the interview. Doesn't call. Doesn't explain. Ethan notices the absence. Days pass. Then weeks. He wonders if he overstepped. One night, alone in her kitchen, Amara finally breaks. Not loudly. Quietly. Tears fall as she stares at unpaid bills. I tried, she whispers to no one. I really tried. Her child watches from the doorway. Doesn't interrupt. Just sits beside her. That silent presence saves her from collapsing entirely. Ethan debates reaching out. He doesn't want to pressure her. But something inside him refuses to walk away. He finds Malik. Is she okay? Ethan asks. Malik sighs. She never lets herself be. That answer decides it. Ethan knocks on Amara's door. She opens it slowly, shame already written on her face. I didn't disappear because of you, she says quickly. I know, Ethan replies. But you don't have to disappear alone. She looks away. I don't want to need anyone, she admits. Ethan answers softly. Needing help doesn't erase your strength. That lands hard. Amara doesn't accept help immediately, but she allows Ethan to sit, to listen, to stay. That is the real breakthrough. Not money, not opportunity, presence. Ruth hears what's happening. So does Mrs. Chun. Someone drops off groceries, anonymously. Malik fixes the cart better than before. Daniel watches from a distance, conflicted. The ripple has begun. Amara realizes something slowly, painfully, beautifully. She is not invisible. And Ethan realizes something too. This isn't about being generous. It's about being human. Have you ever wanted to help someone, but worried you might make things worse instead? What did you do? Share your experience in the comments. Amara doesn't accept help immediately, but she stops refusing it. That alone feels like standing on unfamiliar ground. The next morning, she sends Ethan a short message. If the offer still stands, I'll try. Not yes. Not thank you. Just, I'll try. Ethan reads it twice, then smiles. The interview is rescheduled, not as a favor, but as a fair shot. Amara prepares like her life depends on it. Because it does. She practices answers quietly while washing dishes. Rehearses explanations while walking her child to school. She writes notes on scraps of paper she keeps folded in her pocket. But something is different this time. She is not walking in alone. Ruth watches Amara's child during the interview. Mrs. Chun presses a container of food into her hands. For later, she says. Malik adjusts his card hours early so Amara can borrow his chair to rest. No one makes a speech. No one demands recognition. Kindness moves best when it doesn't announce itself. The room is plain, professional, neutral. Amara sits across from two people who don't know her story. And for the first time in years, she doesn't lead with apology. She speaks clearly, confidently, precisely. She explains systems, processes, solutions. She doesn't beg to be seen. She is seen. When it ends, one interviewer says something simple. You should have never been out of work this long. Amara nods, holding herself together. Days pass. Hope rises. Fear follows. Amara goes back to her routine, but now every sound feels louder. Every silence heavier. She prepares herself for disappointment. Again, it comes in the afternoon. Short. Professional. We'd like to offer you the position. For a moment, Amara can't breathe. She thanks them calmly, hangs up, then sits on the floor and cries. Not loudly, relieved. When Amara tells Ethan, she expects excitement. Instead, he listens, then says, I'm proud of you. Not we did it. Not I helped. You did this. That distinction matters. The change isn't instant. The job is demanding. The hours long. But dignity returns first. Then stability. Then confidence. Amara walks differently now. Not higher, just steadier. Her child notices. So does the neighborhood. Amara helps Malik track inventory digitally. She helps Mrs. Chun negotiate with suppliers. She helps Ruth apply for funding she didn't know existed. One act of kindness has multiplied, without permission. One evening, Daniel knocks on Amara's door. Awkward. Defensive. I was wrong, he says. That's all. Amara nods. Sometimes accountability doesn't need explanation. Months later, a new face appears in the neighborhood. Young. Lost. Overwhelmed. Struggling. Amara notices. She doesn't rush. She remembers how fragile hope can be. Then one day, she offers something small. Time. Listening. Patience. The same gift she once received. The street is still worn. The building's still cracked. Life's still difficult. But people look at each other now. They stop. They help. They stay. Kindness didn't erase hardship. It taught people how to face it together. Amara realizes something quietly. She didn't escape the neighborhood. She helped change it. And Ethan realizes something too. He didn't save anyone. He simply chose not to walk away. This story shows how one small act of kindness can change everything. What's one way you could make a difference in someone's life today? Share your commitment in the comments.